But it takes just as much brains and courage as safe cracking. Now, supposing one of us were to go into a store, any one of us.
I said to myself this morning, honey child, if you don't find the heaviest mink coat in the world before evening, you're just going to freeze to death. Oh, how much did you say this one was?
$2,000, madam.
I'll take it. But I simply must have it this afternoon because honey child's going to the theater tonight.
Oh, well, this is Saturday, and the last delivery's gone out.
We'll have it sent up by special messenger within the hour, madame.
Oh, that's mighty sweet of you.
And where shall we send it?
Mrs. Eleanor Randolph Allingham, and I'm at the Hotel Savoy Carlton. Where may I write a check?
Right this way, madame.
Thank you.
Yeah?
The Savoy Carlton said she checked out an hour ago, right after the coat was delivered.
It's obviously a phony. She's trying to cash in on the coat before this check bounces.
Well, we're very much obliged to you, Mr. Jenkins. Please try to detain her just a few minutes longer. Our attorney will be right down to have her arrested.
My, the air is bracing. I feel like $1 million.
Oh, Mr. Gilder, the most awful thing has happened. There's a wire from the Mercantile Bank at Atlanta. And that check, the one Mrs. Allingham gave us for $2,000, it's good.
Good heavens.
Mr. Demarest has gone to the jail to see Mrs. Allingham now. He's afraid she's going to sue us for false arrest.
Oh. Oh, Sarah, get me a large bicarbonate of soda, will you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Mrs. Allingham, I can't tell you how much we regret this unfortunate mistake.
Pardon me, sir. I don't wish to discuss it.
If you'll just give me a moment, I'm sure I can explain.
I told you in that pawn shop when you arrested me that you was making a mistake. I told you that just because I needed some money quickly didn't mean I was dishonest.
I know that, madam, but...
I've been held here in this jail since Saturday night. I tell you, I never had such a horrible experience.
If you will only try to understand our side of
There's
it,
no
Mrs.
possible explanation. I've been humiliated beyond human endurance, and somebody's going to suffer for it.
Mr. Gilder feels that your client, Mrs. Allingham, is entirely in the right.
Well, I should think he would.
Oh, but definitely.
However, Mr. Gilder is most anxious to prevent this case from coming to court, and if your client, Mrs. Allingham, would keep that in mind, perhaps she might be induced to settle the case out of court.
Oh, no. I'm deeply offended.
Well, that's too bad. We were prepared to make a substantial settlement.
It does seem to me that a settlement would save you a lot of trouble, Mrs. Allingham.
Oh.
And possibly some painful publicity.
Oh.
Mr. Gilder thought that perhaps $20,000.
And costs.
Well, naturally, and costs.
Well, it's all so embarrassing, but whatever Mr. Hardin says, and so long as Mr. Gilder learns his lesson.
Oh, fine. Now, would you be so kind as to examine this release, Mr. Harding? Oh, thank you.
Just to make it out to cash.
Of course.
20 grand, it worked. Oh, it was a lucky day when Aggie ran into you, Mary.
This is just the beginning, Joe. We're going to go places, and Gilder's going to pay for the ride. I told him once he'd pay me back. Well, he's starting to, but just starting to, that's all. There's something I want you to do for me, Joe.
Name it.
Find out everything you can about Gilder's son.
Hey, Dick, your customer was here.
Oh, was she? Where'd she go?
Up there taking a lesson. She'll be back any minute.
That's swell.
What are you trying to sell, Dick? Yourself or the plane?
Well, the first rule of a salesman is to look neat.
Yeah, some salesman. You've been demonstrating this plane for a week. I wonder what else you've been demonstrating.
Get that plane shine up, or I'll demonstrate a left hook, you greaseball.
That landing wouldn't have cracked an eggshell. You can sell it tomorrow.
Thanks, that's grand. I'm particularly anxious to get my license.
Hello, Dick.
Hello, Jake.
Hello, customer. Nice landing.
Hello, Mr. Greer.
Gilder is the name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gilder. Where's the ship?
There she blows. Over there. You know, I must have made a vivid impression on you. A week's flying, you don't even know my name.
Oh, that's not fair. If I remembered the names of everyone who wants to sell me something, I'd be a walking telephone book.
You'd make a good one.
Why?
Because you're quite a number.
Ooh, that's really terrible.
Wasn't it? Listen, will you tell me something?
Maybe.
When you called up a week ago, you were very anxious to buy a planet. Since then, you've been cooling off. As a man who has to make his living selling planes, I'd like to know why.
Well, I couldn't say. I want the best, and maybe you just haven't convinced me, that's it.
Well, how about giving me just one more chance to convince you right now?
Only fair enough.
Come on.
I wonder what the poor people are doing tonight.
Say, do you suppose Myrna Loy really answers auto fan mail like it says in Hollywood Fun?
Sure, that's all she's got to do.
Is everlasting one word or two?
I don't know. Make it always.
Thanks.
Where'd Mary say she was going?
Out with young Gilda for a change.
She's been building him up for 3 weeks now. I'd like to know what the payoff's gonna be.
When Mary wants us to know, she'll tell us.
Maybe there ain't no payoff. Maybe it's love.
Could be. He's young and handsome.
Ought to look awful good to Mary after being in stir for 3 years.
Why don't you shut up? Expecting anybody?
Probably Mary. She must have forgotten the key.
Yeah, I'm not taking any chances.
Good evening, sir.
I'm looking for Joe Garson.
And whom shall I say is calling, sir?
I'll tell him myself, Red. And incidentally, you're the silliest looking butler I ever laid eyes on.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. One can overgrouse some more, you know. It becomes no longer sport, merely butchery.
Don't tell me I'm crashing into society. Some of the 400 are going to be awfully sore about missing this party. Where are the debutantes? Under the couch? Hello, Joe. Glad to see you again.
Well, I can't say the same for you.
And Lord Fothergill. Haven't seen you since the line-up in Delancey Street. Miss Lynch, I believe.
Well, what's new? Have you read any good books lately, Lancelot?
Don't call me that.
Well, it's your name, isn't it?
I had it changed, legally.
You should have had it changed when you were a kid. You wouldn't have had so many fights.
Yeah. Then I wouldn't have been hit over the head with a milk bottle.
Well, that was all in the game.
Sounds like a good game to me. Let's play it now.
We are.
Are we?
Mm-hmm. Used to be called Cops and Robbers, only we're playing it for keeps now.
Yeah, and you're still losing.
You're pretty smart, Joe. This time you're in trouble.
Listen, Cassidy, we're in the clear, and you know it.
Eddie, you're a 3-time loser. This time it's life. Better talk soft.
Please, Eddie, don't argue.
Who's she?
Leave her out of this.
Oh, yeah? Where's the Turner dame?
The Turner dame's right here, Sergeant. What can we do for you? Some tea, perhaps?
How do you do, Miss Turner? I've heard a lot about you.
Oh, thank you. I can imagine.
Well, don't bother to take off your hat, Miss Turner.
I don't mind.
I suppose you know we've got you called on the Mortimer bond case.
Mortimer?
Oh, I think you'll remember it shortly. $30,000 worth of United States government securities.
Oh, yes, that.
I might as well tell you now that Inspector Burke is going to give you a break. If you return the bonds, he's going to forget how you got them.
Are you working for the police department or a collection agency?
You might as well play ball and get off easy.
You know, Sergeant, sometimes I think the police department isn't quite bright.
Perhaps you'll have a better opinion of us after we're through with you.
Inspector Burke knows, of course, that Mr. Garson is Mortimer's partner.
Well?
Under the law, Sergeant, I think you should know that a partner can withdraw any or all of the partnership funds with or without the consent of the other partner. If you want more detailed instruction as to the law, you can look it up under the statute which specifically protects Mr. Garson. Article 28, Section 320 of the Penal Code of the State of New York. Am I boring you?
You have a very good lawyer, Miss Turner.
Yes, I think we have.
Who is he?
Me. Now, is there anything more we can do for you?
Yes. You can all come on downtown with me.
Some other time, perhaps.
Right now. We'll drop into headquarters and see what Inspector Burke has to say about this.
We're not going anyplace, Sergeant. But you are, and you can take this with you.
What do you call this?
I call it a temporary restraining order because that's what it is. You'll find that it's signed by Judge Lawrence of the Supreme Court. And it orders the police department to let us alone until they have legal proof that we've broken the law.
You've got a lot of answers, haven't you?
I know it doesn't pay to break the law, Sergeant.
You're a smart girl. It's a shame to see you fooling yourself. There are two kinds of law, Miss Turner, the letter and the spirit. You didn't get that $30,000 honestly. I don't care whether you broke the law or not. You're working a crooked game, and sooner or later you're going to get it in the neck.
Thank you for your fatherly advice, Mr. Cassidy. Red, would you be kind enough to show Mr. Cassidy to the door?
The outside of it.
Lancelot, If you ever get into any trouble, let me know. I'll lend you my lawyer.
Thanks, Joe.